This is the second important topic for university exam. Apoptosis. It's a pathway of cell death. Cell death are of two types: necrosis and apoptosis. Necrosis usually we consider as murder, and apoptosis as suicide because it occurs silently and it is invariably associated with inflammation. Necrosis, it is not associated with inflammation because there is no leakage of any products in apoptosis, but there is leakage in necrosis. What is the now definition of apoptosis? Apoptosis is a pathway of cell death that is induced by a tightly regulated intracellular program in which cells destined to die activate enzyme cascade that degrades cell own nuclear DNA and cytoplasmic proteins. It means it is a process, it is a pathway of cell death that is induced. That is induced means it is stimulated by a tightly regulated intracellular, it's inside the cell, intracellular program by the cell which are destined to die. They activate the enzyme cascade, that this enzyme cascade degrades the cell's own nuclear DNA and cytoplasmic protein. Now due to this activation of enzyme cascade, there will be degradation of nuclear DNA and cytoplasmic protein that will make them converted into apoptotic bodies that will get phagocytosed. So cells are phagocytosed and there will be no leakage outside, so there is no inflammation. But in necrosis there is invariably association with inflammation. The types of apoptosis: pathological and physiological. First we see the pathological. Tumor cell when exposed to the chemotherapeutic agent. When you give drugs, the tumor cell will get apoptosized, means this chemotherapeutic agent will act on tumor cell and make their apoptosis, means the tumor cell when they come in contact with chemotherapeutic agents, there will be apoptosis. And second is depletion of CD4 T cell in AIDS. In AIDS, the CD4 T cell get apoptosized. In physiological apoptosis, there are two things: in embryogenesis and in elimination of potentially self-reacting lymphocytes. In the embryogenesis and during the growth of the baby only, there will be elimination of potentially self-reacting lymphocytes. If they persist, there will be autoimmune, there will be disorders, many disorders that will come into life. When the baby gets birth, there will be several disorders occur. That's why there will be elimination of potentially self-reacting lymphocytes. What are the mechanism of apoptosis? There are two pathways of apoptosis. First is extrinsic pathway, second is intrinsic pathway. The extrinsic pathway consists of initiation and execution phase, and the intrinsic pathway also consists of initiation and execution phase. In extrinsic there is a different initiation, and intrinsic phase there is a different initiation, means it initiates by a different mechanism, and it initiates means extrinsic initiates by different and extrinsic initiates due to different factor, but both execution are same. See, this is the initiation of extrinsic pathway. What happens in extrinsic pathway initiation phase? It is initiated by death receptor or fast CD95 receptor or TNF receptor. There are two things that will initiate the initiation phase of extrinsic pathway. One is fast protein CD95 and TNF receptor. Both have the death receptor. This fast protein, it binds to the fast receptor. It binds to the fast receptor, death receptor, which is present on the cell. Now multiple fast receptor will come together, and there will be cytoplasmic death domain or fast associated death domain will get activated. When this FAS fast CD95 protein get attached to this fast receptor, multiple fast receptor come together and they activate and form fast associated death domain FADD, that will convert the pro-caspase into active caspase. What are the pro-caspase? What are pro-caspase 8 and pro-caspase 10 that will get activated into caspase 8 and 10. Intrinsic pathway. Intrinsic pathway, the initiation phase is the stimuli is DNA damage. Here the stimuli is when fast protein get bind to the fast receptor or any other material that or fast protein that binds to TNF receptor. That will be initiation phase of extrinsic. But in intrinsic pathway, if the DNA damage is beyond repair, generally DNA is repaired by an enzyme, but now the DNA damage is beyond repair. That's why the anti-apoptotic molecule will be converted to pro-apoptotic molecule that leads to increase in mitochondrial permeability, leakage of cytochrome C that will lead to apoptosis. We'll see in next video.